If you ever received feedback that made you question your entire career, you're not crazy. Your boss just speaks in corporate riddles. Hey friends, welcome back to Work Unscripted, and today we're cracking the code and zooming in on patterns, behaviors, and hidden dynamics that are driving you crazy in less than 10 minutes. We're talking about common feedback messages that need translation. You know, those cryptic, confusing feedback phrases you've definitely heard at some point in your career that sound like something and mean everything, but say nothing? But don't worry, I've got you. I'll give you the exact translation and what you actually need to do about it. Ready? Let's jump in. Let's start with one of the most misunderstood pieces of feedback. You need to slow down. I remember when a boss told me this once, and all I could think about was, do you know how much work I have to do? Are you crazy? Or you may interpret it as simply insulting. Like, what? Am I too fast? Too ambitious? Too much? But here's what it usually means. You're moving ahead of people, not with them. You're solving problems no one agreed were problems yet. You're sending updates before others have even opened your last email. You're about 3 chess moves ahead, and the rest of your team is simply setting up the board. So slow down isn't about pace. It's about stakeholder alignment and management, bringing people along the journey with you, especially if that journey is to change a current process or a practice or a workflow. So here's what you need to do when you receive this feedback. First, be curious if it's not clear what the feedback refers to exactly, and ask, is there a specific project that you're referring to where I need to slow down? That will help you with how you reset. Then pause and ask yourself, is everyone on board with where we're going? Consider using stakeholder mapping. Who needs to be informed? Who needs to make decisions? And included in the process before you move forward. Then reach out to those stakeholders and ask questions like, do you have any concerns with where we're going or where we are in this project? Are we missing anyone who needs to align on the project? Remember, alignment is the new speed. When people are aligned, you will be able to move faster together. This second piece of feedback gets thrown around like corporate confetti. You need to be more strategic. But what does that even mean? Usually it means stop executing tasks and start thinking bigger and connect your work to the larger picture of the company's goals. It means stop pointing out all of the work that you accomplished. You need to shift from the how to the why, from doing to impacting. Ask yourself, how does this task support the broader goal? Strategic thinkers make their work feel important, not just done, and they're always looking up and down and sideways as they complete their work to understand the impact across the organization. Now, if you're already doing this and being strategic, there's a chance you're still talking in tactics. When presenting your work or discussing your accomplishments, instead of saying, here's what I did, say, here's why I did it and how it supports our quarterly goals. Being strategic means you are looking at the short and the long-term impact of your work, not just checking boxes off your to-do list. Now, the third one is one of my favorites. It's feedback people whisper to each other, but rarely explain what it means. You need to manage up better. That usually means you're doing great work, but no one above you knows about it, or your boss was caught off guard and therefore isn't happy with all that you're doing. Don't assume your work speaks for itself. It doesn't. You do. Managing up means sending updates about anything that could be escalated to your manager before your manager hears about it. It also means framing challenges as opportunities for input and anticipating concerns before they become issues. It always shocks me how often I hear from my clients, my boss is micromanaging me, or my boss has no idea what I do. That's because you aren't keeping your boss informed. It's a simple Friday update. Here's what I prioritize this week based on the team goals and what I accomplished to achieve the goals. Here are the potential risks I'm seeing, and here's how I'm mitigating them. And number 3, here is what I'm prioritizing next week. This is short. It's bullet points, and it's sent once a week on Friday. It's not bragging. It's building trust and making your work visible. Don't expect a reply unless your boss has something to say about your update. Now, this fourth one always stings. Ready? You need to be more collaborative. Oof, that hurts, especially if you think you're being collaborative. But this feedback usually means you're working solo and looping people in after the fact. That makes them feel excluded or blindsided. Collaboration isn't just about being friendly or polite. It's about engagement early and often. It's an easy fix. Ask for input before you start a project, not just for approval afterwards. Even if you know exactly what to do, consider asking stakeholders, "I love your perspective on how to approach this before I dive in." This will ensure you don't miss what is important to them. And if you're a remote first company, over communicate. Silence gets misread as secrecy. And the last cryptic feedback can break your heart. You're not ready for the next level. But don't take it as a dead end. It usually means you haven't demonstrated the mindset or the behaviors expected at the next level yet. It's not about tenure. It's about showing you think like an owner, not just an executor. That means you're doing all the things I already talked about: being strategic, stakeholder alignment, and stakeholder management, and collaboration that is effective across the organization. If you are told that you aren't ready for the next level, start with a conversation with your manager and ask, what would being ready look like to you? And can we create a path for me to grow into that? If your company has a leveling matrices showing what competencies are expected at each of those levels, well, walk through them one by one and ask how you can improve. Then deliver. There you have it. 5 cryptic pieces of feedback decoded. Let's recap. Slow down means align your pace with people, not just deadlines. Be more strategic means zoom out and connect your work to the big picture. Manage up better means make your impact visible. Be more collaborative means bring people in early. And you're not ready yet for the next level means you need to ask what readiness looks like, then build toward it. Feedback isn't always clear, but it is an opportunity if you know how to interpret it. And if you don't, be curious about it, even if it initially stings, because once you get the feedback, then it's up to you to demonstrate the capabilities and change perception. And hey, next time someone tells you to slow down, don't argue about how much work you have to do. And start aligning. That's today's code cracked on Work Unscripted. And maybe it's just at least opened. If this sparks something in you, share it with someone who needs a fresh way of seeing things. And as always, stay curious, stay growing, and stay unscripted.